Jackie Phamotse, now 30, is a testament that it's never too late to change your fate. She moved from being a blessee to an inspirational speaker.
I had a vision for Sandton. You know when people talk about a city that is so far away or so glitzy and glamorous and everybody lives in glass houses with big cars? I dreamt of living there.
Jackie found herself in a blessed life.
I never decided I'm going to date a wealthy person. The universe decided. But I decided to stay in it, right? And staying in that relationship taught me 3 lessons. Spending money that's not yours does not make you as wealthy as the person that you're with, right?
Jackie's blessed life became less of a fairy tale and more of a nightmare.
It was so bad. It was so horribly bad, to a point where at some point he orchestrated an illegal abortion on me.
That is a powerful story of former blessee Jackie Phamotse. Jackie has written a book to share her story with young girls who might find themselves chasing the lavish lifestyle of being blessed. And on that note, we want to say hello, Dumelang, Sanbonani, South Africa, and welcome to Expressions here on SABC 1. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Maphala.
Your number 1 youth current affairs show. I'm your host, Now tonight, Jackie, we discuss a topic that continues to be of great concern, to societies. Kulumanga, the blesser-blessee phenomenon. Is South Africa failing to fight the scourge of blessers?
I mean, this is definitely an important issue facing our country. Jackie Phamotse, who survived rape, depression, emotional and mental abuse at the hands of a blesser, brings us her chilling story through a book called Bear. In her book, she shares how she was trapped in the hands of a powerful and rich man who gave her access to the life of luxury but destroyed her emotionally and mentally. The book is also dedicated to the late Karabo Mokoena, who allegedly suffered abuse from her boyfriend and as a result ended up dead.
Jeez, that's chilling, Jackie. Of course, Jackie Phamotse also joins us in studio to unpack this issue with us. See Expressions, we also took to the streets to find out what amantombazane in particular have to say about blessers. Do take a look at this.
So I just want to chat with you ladies about the blesser-blessee phenomena. It's from sugar daddies to now what's known as blessers. So what can you say about that?
You'll be dating somebody who's older than you, right? Mm-hmm. So what you have to contribute there is by sex.
But I want to fit in.
You can look at a woman like Boma Mira Magem. She's done wonders for herself and for the generations to come. Like looking in 10 years from now or even 20 years from now, it's going to be so sad to a point so your behavior of today, it has to have the better fruits for tomorrow.
Sometimes we look beyond and say, hey man, why is she doing that? It is not right, and we judge them. But maybe if we were to say the reason behind this.
It's not your fault to come from a disadvantaged background, but it will be your fault to let your background determine where you're going. Coming from a single parent family, a mom who's not working, I'll never let my future be determined by where I was raised, living in a shack, and you understand. So whatever situation you're going through, don't let it push you to the blessed's life, because it comes with consequences.
Some key insights coming from girls on the street on this also important conversation that we're having on the blesser and blessee phenomena. But to help me unpack this issue is the lady that actually inspired the show as a whole. I'm talking about Jackie Phamotse, who is the author of Bear. Welcome to Expressions.
Thank you, Jackie. Vito.
Vito. We're going to have a great insight and great conversation around this topic. But of course, Mobuhedi, they say the best things come in twos. And if you're wondering what's happened to my co-host, Mkolisi, he's on the other side of our studio and he's going to be manning our social media, bringing some of your perspective on this also important conversation. But let's get straight into it. Sure. I must say that your book really got a lot of people talking about this issue again. But I think from your perspective, just so that we can start this, the right way, this book is really about you. This is you laying your life bare for the world to see. What were you hoping to achieve?
Number one, I wrote the book simply because it was a healing process for me. And I felt like there's so many other women who are going through exactly the same, and they have no voice. And I thought, I've got a platform. I'm a writer, so why not express what I'm going through and what are other people going through and put it in a book so that it materializes in other people's lives and they get to learn ways to resolve any kind of issue, whether it's social ills, whether it's blessers, whether it's depression, whether it's the rape that I went through. They find things that they can learn from and grow from. So that was the thought process behind writing Bear at the time.
Your story is a reflection of stories of young women across this country. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them are watching and they're saying, but Jackie, when now you experience that lavish lifestyle, right? And how you know what I mean? What would you like to say to girls like that who are chasing this lavish lifestyle?
Well, each to his own, right? However, there are people who are in serious need of what I'm talking about and the things that I bring to light and the risks that I speak about. I mean, I suffered from depression for a very long time and I was clinically unfit to run my own life at some point. So it's for those girls who are going through rape. It's for those girls who are going through depression. It's those girls who want answers to live a certain lifestyle. They want to get out of it. It's for mothers who have lost their children to this whole social norm, It's for women who are in abusive relationships that they don't know how to get out. And I am a living testament of exactly that. And I give solutions that will help those kind of women. So for those women who say, oh, well, so you're done, now leave us alone. It's okay, because at the end of the day, you'll remember this conversation. You'll come back and say, how did you get out? So it's a process. Other people are in the beginning stages of whatever it is they're going through. They might not want to hear it, but at some point, they will pick it up and read it.
So, I mean, we're going to touch a little bit around the depression you've gone through, just some of the trauma, literally, you go through if you decide to choose this type of life. But something so interesting, I mean, whenever we think about blessee and blesser phenomena, obviously we always think about Kanyambao, but she said something so profound during one of her interviews, and she said something along the lines of, the blesser will buy you things, but you will pay for them. So there's obviously a price you have to pay. And I think let's talk about that price, because as much as young girls want to chase this, they want to be on Instagram, they want to be seen living this high life, but there is a price that you have to pay. And I think let's talk about that.
One thing I'd like to correct first, I was never a blessee. I just dated somebody who had money, and I think there's two different kinds of concepts of this lifestyle. It's a sugar daddy situation and a blessee. A sugar daddy situation is when you're dating an older person that has money. A blessee, it's a transactional relationship, which is what I was not in. And however, going back to your question.
So it's just so that we understand. So you were in the former where you had a sugar daddy.
Yeah, it was a person who had money, was slightly older.
But it was
not transactional.
It was not transactional.
No.
Okay.
So going back to your question, I feel like the risks. Number one, the person will buy you things, but you trade it with your soul. Because once they start telling you what to do with their money that they're giving you, it takes away the power that you have. And they will start dictating what you do, where you go, where you sleep, how you have sex, who you communicate with, if you travel or not. And sometimes they ostracize you from your family. So you end up becoming a loner, and they're just the center of your world. And once they leave, you sort of fall down, because sometimes they leave with their money, they leave with their apartments or cars, and they just leave you naked as you came. And you would find that in a space of maybe if a person would date a person who has money for 3-4 years, sometimes they would ask you to leave your job, your current job, leave school, leave your friends, do not go to these family functions or whatever the case may be, so that you just focus on them. That on its own is traumatic for a person who's a socialite or a person who is family orientated or who loves their friends. They take you away. Number two, you would find that they will force you to sexual cults, if I may call it a cult, because there's different kind of sexual interactions that you may not be comfortable with. And they would introduce those things to you. That's where the concept of the hockey club that I speak about openly comes from, where they introduce you to a life that is beyond you.
So at the crux of it, it's you sort of get lured into this life where he makes you feel like you're special and all of that.
Yeah.
But all of it is really a trick, just
It's
so
a
that
trick.
he can create an imbalance, and he has more power over you and he controls you. I mean, there's a part obviously where you talk about what you were left with, like 300 rands at some
Yes.
point. I mean, so you went from being,
I went-
Jackie,
yeah.
all and everybody
Ausole.
loves
Everybody
Jackie,
loved
and then
me.
now it's like 300.
Yeah, from having close to about 400,000 rand in my account to 300 rand.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I mean, isn't that exactly what girls are chasing? To say, Hore, I wonder what it feels like to have just 400,000 in my bank account.
The thing is, most of my money came from modeling and the stuff that I did. And yes, he would gift me with whatever it is that he would give me at the time. But sometimes when you come from a position of weakness and you come from poverty, if I may put it that way, so when somebody throws in money into your account, you see it as millions, whether it would be 10,000 or 5,000 or 100,000. To you, it's a lot. But moving from having that much money to zero money and having no place to stay, all the clothes that he had bought you are gone, the apartment you had is gone, the car you had, it's like taken away. So you literally go back to Vaseline life, if I may put it that way.
Okay, so let me, wow, Vaseline life. So put Mobogedi Kogai. I mean, we're definitely going to continue with this conversation. And I think maybe the question that you probably are thinking of right now is, how do you get out of this? Make sure you stay tuned. On the flip side of this is Mkolisi bringing some of your social media insight. Stay with us. You're watching Expressions.
I guess Phinde sinibingelela sinamukele. You're still watching Expressions, your hashtag #1 youth current affairs show. Namhlanje kusihlwa, we're talking about the blesser blessee phenomenon that has gripped most parts of the country. Khona la siyabuza-ke namhlanje kusihlwa, is South Africa failing to fight the scourge of blessers? I'm now joined by two beautiful women this evening. Pastor Nomonde, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
King Dineo, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, looking good, ladies. And of course, we're going to have a very meaningful conversation this evening. Now, Lapika, do make sure you do get in touch with us. Pelagu Facebook, as well as on Twitter as Expressions_10. Let's get the conversation going. So keep those comments coming. Pastor Dineo, I saw you there listening attentively to what Jackie was saying on the other side. You were also relating to some parts of what she was saying.
Absolutely. The first thing I have to say is thank you so much to Jackie for writing the book. I think, just as she said, hearing somebody describe something that you've been through but have never been able to put into words is just liberating in itself. I related to the brokenness that one experiences from giving your very self in exchange for something that you essentially believe is worth more than you. And the damage to the soul that does is something that I think many young girls are going through.
At this point in time. And perhaps when I was looking at my social media earlier, there was Abandabasha saying that, what Jackie is saying, which they feel, Jackie, rather, there is no difference between sleeping with a rich man or sleeping with a so-called blesser. They feel it's more or less the same thing. There's no difference. What's your response to that?
It's not the same. The concept of sugar daddies and blessers is transactional. Sugar daddies is a relationship. So you cannot have Let me explain it this way.
What they're raising is you're still benefiting out of the
You
relationship.
can't benefit from your own relationship. You are invested in your relationship. So if it's transactional, that's where you're paid for something. It's an exchange. That's why I say blessees are prostitutes, because it's an exchange of things. When you're in a relationship with someone that you love and they are equally invested in the relationship, it's not transactional. What they buy you, whether it's a handbag or teaspoon or pizza, is not a gift. It's what they're investing in the relationship. So it's two different dynamics.
Okay. King Dino, I'm coming to you manje. Abantu abasha bayazibuza bayaziphendula ngawo. Bathi wena ucula ngama Prada, ucula ngama Gucci, uthi faka imali. This is exactly what we're talking against tonight. You are seemingly glamorizing this lifestyle.
You know, okay. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, lovely.
Your book, it's amazing. I'm not done with it, but it's great. So far, so good.
Thank you.
You know, I believe in women who are very independent. But if you've got that someone who completes you, someone who like gives you everything that you have, it's okay. Save your money and then enjoy. And then when times come, the guy wants to leave and everything, you know you've got your savings and everything, you don't fall down. So just be independent, but if you have to save your money and eat somebody's money, it's okay.
So
Do it, girl.
it's right ukuthi udle imali yendoda usave yakho njengomuntu wesifazane. Do you agree with that, Sis Nomonde?
I don't. I think that where that opinion is coming from is not being conscious of what it is you are trading. As Jackie said, there's a price, and the blind spot that we have is that we're calloused and we don't engage with what that price is.
Well, you heard that, right? Let me give you some time to think about it. Do you want to respond to it? But of course, let's quickly go to the line. Samgele Dumsane, who's joining us on the line. Sikbingele skwamgele Dumsane. Hello, Dumsane. Okay, we're going to try and re-establish that line. Once we have Dumsane back on the line, we'll go back straight to him. So I want your response on this. What would you say? No, because she's essentially saying, Uguti, you're trading a lot more than just, you know, your body. You're trading your soul in all of this.
I heard her saying, like, we also trade our souls. I've never been in this situation, but I have friends who already are still in the situation, and they are afraid to go out.
Yeah, but
because
no,
it's okay. My song, it's about money. It's about glamorous life and everything. But if you as a woman, you have the money to do that for yourself, it's okay. But if you've got a man who wants to do it for you, save your money. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's what we're speaking against tonight. Nomonde, do you want to come in?
I think the confusion is the difference between worth and value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Self-worth is something that it's given from God. We all have it. There's nothing you can do to chip away at it. Value is what we try and manipulate to make people perceive us in a certain way. So when I'm lacking self-worth, what I try and do is increase my value. So what you're talking about is increasing your value, but it's doing nothing for your worth. And that is what is breaking. That's what makes you feel like you're dying when you're in it.
All right.
Heard that. Of course, Jackie seems like she'll also want to respond to that. But of course, let's just quickly go to the line 0117148052. SABC now joins us from Mpumalanga. Sikbingele skwamgele. Siyaphila kunjani bhuti? Just ngicela ukuthi ube kafushane nje.
Mfowethu thina sibanda abasha sibocheka kakhulu ikusasa lethu singabuki isikhathi samanje singabuki nokujabula kwamanje lo lengakutshela abantu abasha labasaphila ukuthi impilo le yaglamorous utayiphila nekwakho lokusebentela. Okay, if umuntu afika ngokuthi ufuna ukusita usu-achieve that life, akungabi ukuthi kumele ukuthi ubhadale iprize ekugcineni, akube ukuthi.
Okay, we seem to have lost him, but let's quickly at the back of that go to our social media comments, ladies. I'm keen to find out what Ababugeli Batini. Luyanda says, because we did ask what are we failing to curb the scourge of blessers in our country. Luyanda says, yes, it is, because people are using the money that is coming with conditions, and it's not really healthy because some people get into the initiative to have fun. At the end of the day, it's damaging to the young people. Archie says it's not failing, but there is still a lack of reasons why some people out there are still giving it power when knowing it has harmful effects to the young ones. Of course, Luda says this goes with Satanism. Do these young people see the future in their lives with this blesser blessees? And of course, Uskeshe Utiena, yes, we are failing. And then Okay Boy Zulu says there is no such thing called as easy money. You need to work for it. Now at the back of that, Sicelile phela lapha ekhaya for you to please get in touch with us on WhatsApp. And this is this week's WhatsApp note.
I think we should not solely blame these young women. It's possible that these men also have some hidden agendas against these young women. Like, it cannot be only about sexual transactions or just giving them money for this courtship, yeah, bless and blesses. It's possible that they want to use them for rituals also.
Well, I think she concurs with what one of the viewers has just said right now. Muntomusha, this all-important conversation continues with more analysis with Jackie in the table straight after this. This is Expressions.
Welcome back. You are still watching Expressions, your number one current affairs show here on SABC 1. And we are talking about the phenomena, the blesser phenomena that we find in South Africa. And of course, the poll question that we're asking you, Gochae, is South Africa failing to fight the scourge of blessers? And of course, I'm still with Jackie, the author of Bear. And unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. And I mean, I think a lot of insight came across. But I think it's also important, considering that today is Karabo Mokwena's birthday.
Yes.
You dedicated her in your book. Why was that important? Why was it important to sort of include her in your book, especially when we're talking about this particular phenomena?
Well, holistically, the things that I talk about is women abuse from all kinds of angles. And she suffered a horrible death. And the whole country sort of was at a standstill to find out of the gruesome death, the details of a gruesome death. And I felt that she's probably not the first, nor she will be the last one, but let's not remember what the causes of her initiatives were, or the foundations she wanted to start at a certain time, which brought me to why I said at a particular point that I'm also running for presidency, because I feel like nobody's speaking about these issues on our behalf, or even finding solutions that will help us on our behalf. So I have taken upon myself to push myself as a candidate for 2025 and 2030 to become South Africa's president.
Amandla, to you, and for all the women, the young
Thank
girls
you.
who are watching. I mean, we literally have like 20 seconds. Just 20 seconds of inspiration to all the young women who are watching the show today around why they shouldn't follow this.
It's important to find your own voice. It's important to be your own person. It's important to get education. It's important to also understand that each and every life experience that you have has an implication, whether you choose the positive or negative.
So choose positive. I think we have to wrap it up. Thank you so very much for coming to the show. Ladies, thank you. Thank you so much.
Guys, and of course, ama-comments afikile ukuthi abantu abasha bathanda ukuslaya ku-Instagram, bathanda ukuba ama-slay queens, and that must stop. Ladies, thank you for coming lapha ekhaya. We always want to know what you think. This is what you want us to discuss. Give the Elzai.
Hi, my name is Nosihle Zuma. I would like Expression to talk about charismatic churches and traditional churches.
So a resounding 90% of Ababugeli think we're failing to curb the scourge of our blessers. Thank you so much for joining us, lapha ekhaya. Siyabuya ke ngesonto elizayo. And of course, we playing off King Dineo Ati Faga.
Yeah, but let's be
Faga.
independent,
We wish you,
ladies, right?
Yeah. We wish you a spectacular evening going forward from all of us at Expressions. Bye.
Adios.
Faga. I want the money, so Faga. Give me the money, so